Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming. This is Executive Committee meeting on Monday, April 10th, 2023. I call this meeting to order. We have all 8 members present. We do have a quorum. Item 2 on our agenda is approval of minutes, March 13th, 2023 of our regular meeting. Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Member Klein. Is there a second? Second by Member Schaefer. Any comments, questions, additions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. And opposed? The motion is carried. We'll go on to we'll go on to item 3, appearance by members of the public. We do have one member of the organization that applied to speak, and so we have the Central Illinois Regional Airport Authority. Mr. Carl Olson is the director, is present. Welcome, Mr. Olson. And he is the director and CEO. And Mr. Alan Sender has applied to speak. He's the chairman of the board. Mr. Sender, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman McIntyre. The Bloomington Normal Airport Authority is here to address the proposed McLean County Board resolution that is on your agenda today that opposes the airport's policy initiative to reorganize itself. There's nothing new about this concept. The legislation we seek in Springfield has been used in the past to expand the boundaries of airports in Peoria, Crawford, and DuPage counties in Illinois. I would note that legislation, when it passed, was offered on a bipartisan basis out of Peoria by a Republican senator and a Democratic senator, and passed overwhelmingly in the legislature. The genesis of our airport authority's proposal was the very real threat 10 years ago that the federal government, under what was called sequestration, would end funding for our control tower, which would have then required the airport to pick up what was at that time an $800,000 annual expense. The alternative, which would have been closing the tower, would have meant the end of CIRA as a commercial airport. Without a tower, we would not have the 4 national airlines that serve our citizens today, or the FedEx operation, which is currently the largest employer at the Central Illinois Regional Airport. The legislation pending in Springfield will enhance the airport's ability to respond to a future crisis, such as the one that we experienced 10 years ago, and it will permit the airport to respond to unexpected and significant development opportunities that may arise in the future. The legislation is the airport's planful, strategic, and forward-looking policy that we are seeking to adopt. It would permit the airport to end its governance under the outdated, almost 60-year-old incorporating document that was created when the airport was the Bloomington Normal Airport and was nothing like it is today. And it would allow us to be fully governed under the Illinois Airport Authorities Act like all other commercial airports. On the tax issue, which is what has arisen of late, we have said publicly, and we say it again here today, that the Airport Authority is not looking to increase its tax receipts with this legislation. We expect our tax levy to remain at or very near where it has been for years, but the legislation would allow us to collect it over a broader property base. With this legislation, about 75% of McLean County residents, those in Bloomington and Normal, will see their airport-related property taxes reduced, while about 25%, citizens living outside the Bloomington Normal city limits, would receive a tax increase. How much? Bloomington Normal owners of a $175,000 home would see their airport tax bill drop from about $83 a year to about $55 a year. That's a 33% reduction. The owner of a $175,000 home outside of Bloomington Normal would incur a new tax of $55 a year. For farmland, the increase in property taxes, we are told by the assessor, on an average 100-acre tract would be about $61 a year for 100 acres. Our tax rate, which was on my tax bill last year 14.3 cents, would go down to about 9 cents, which for comparative purposes, since that's something that would interest you, is about 10% of the McLean County government tax rate. As far as airport usage, another issue that has been raised during our meeting with rural mayors and others recently, in the most recent 12-month data set, CIRA had approximately 185,000 enplanements. Of that, 48,000 came from Bloomington Normal residents, and 6,000 came from rural McLean County residents. All the rest, well over 100,000, are residents from other counties who fly out of CIRA. They are visitors who have flown into CIRA and are now flying out after visiting family, perhaps. And they're business people from all over the country and, frankly, internationally, who have been to McLean County to do business with the likes of State Farm, Rivian, Ferrero, Brandt, and the innumerable smaller businesses that prosper here in McLean County. The resolution that's being presented today does make some statements that are not quite accurate. Perhaps some of the inaccuracies could have been rectified had the sponsor spoken with any airport board member or the airport executive director to discuss the pending legislation. We're always open to that. Our meetings are open just as yours are. Finally, I would say it's rather extraordinary and perhaps unprecedented for one local governmental unit to expressly attempt to oppose another governmental unit's effort to set its policy. What CIRA seeks is a long-sought, strategic, and vital to the airport's future. So I submit that it sets a terrible precedent for one governmental unit to oppose the policy decision of another governmental unit, and that is why we at CIRA ask that the resolution not be adopted. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We'll move on to departmental matters. I have appointments and reappointments before you from the executive for this committee, and I'll so move. Is there a second? Second by Member Johnston. Comments or questions? Member Metzger.
I believe there might be a scribbler's error under Lexington Fire Protection District. I believe Mr. Kinsella is Brian.
I see that, yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Brian. Anyone else? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. And opposed? Motion's carried. Move on to item C, our Rules Subcommittee report, and I'll turn this part over to Vice Chair Johnston, Chairman of the Rules Subcommittee.
Thank you, Chair. The Rules Subcommittee has 7 items, and I do want to let you know that if without any objection from the committee, I'd like to move that we move C3, 4, 5, and 6 as one item because they are identical items for 4 different committees. So.
Is there any objection?
No? Okay.
Okay, you may proceed.
All right. So first up, we have item 4A1C1. This is a request approval of the amendment to section 20-13 G2C of Chapter 20 of the McLean County Code, County Board Rules. And this has been brought forward without support of the Rules Subcommittee. If you look on page 7 of your packet. Yes, we need a second. I so move.
I was getting ready for that one. So there is a second. Okay, you
Okay.
want to proceed?
So this is a simplification of the code item regarding the application for public comment to remove the distinction between whether an item is on the agenda or off and simply leave it at 24 hours notice that a member of the public would like to speak to the county.
Any other comments or questions? Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Sorry, roll call vote. Clerk, please call the roll.
This is a roll call vote on,
Item CC1.
yeah. Wow.
4A-CC1.
4A1C1. Member Rogal.
Yes.
Member Lehman.
Yes.
Member Klein.
Yes.
Member Metzger.
Yes.
Member Schaefer? Member Erickson? No. Member Johnston?
Yes.
Member McIntyre?
No. That's 5 yes votes,
5
3
to
no
3.
votes. Motion's carried. You may have the floor.
All right. Next up, we have item 4A1C2, and this is request approval of amendment to Section 20-16B, 13 and 14 of Chapter 20 of the McLean County Code, County Board Rules, and I so move.
Motion by Vice Chair Johnston, second. You
This is
want-
a separate one.
This
Yeah.
one you're not going to combine
No.
with the others, okay? Item C2, motion by Vice Chair Johnson, second. Second by Member Lehman. Any comments or questions?
So this one is the separate, it's simply referring to the personnel policies, and so it's not the same as 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's simplifying, yeah. It's taking that out because we now have an HR department that will be handling the policies.
Okay,
Any other comments or questions?
hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and opposed, motion's passed.
All right, next up, we have item 4A1C3, C4, C5, and C6 to combine, and this is a request approval of amendments to Section 20-16B, 16 and 17 of Chapter 20 of the McLean County Code, County Board Rules. Request approval of amendments to Section 20-16C2B and C of Chapter 20 of the McLean County Code, County Board Rules. Request of approval of amendment to Section 20-16D, 6B, and C of Chapter 20 of the McLean County Code, County Board Rules. And finally, request approval of amendment to Section 20-16G, 4B, and C of Chapter 20 of the McLean County Code, County Board Rules, and I so move.
Motion to approve items C3, C4, C5, C6. Is there a second? Second by Member Lehman. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? And the motion is passed.
All right, last item that I have up for Rules Subcommittee is 4A1C7, request approval of amendments to Section 2020C2 and 3 of Chapter 20 of the McLean County Code, County Board Rules, and I so move.
Motion by Vice Chair Johnson. Is there a second? Second by Member Klein. Comments or questions? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Please say aye. We'll have a roll call vote.
Yes.
Sorry. Thank you so much. C7, Member Rogal,
Yes.
Member Lehman,
Yes.
Member Klein,
Yes.
Member Metzger,
No.
Member Schaefer,
No.
Member Erickson. No. Member Johnston,
Yes.
Member McIntyre.
No. So we have a 4-4 vote?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Does not
Thank you.
pass.
All right, that is all for the Rules Subcommittee.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll go on to Information Technologies, item D. 1, request approval to purchase mobile data computers from CDS Office Technologies using the joint purchasing contract, and I will so move. Is there a second? Second by Member Klein. Comments or questions? Thank you for joining us, Mr. Nelson. Anything you'd like to add for this?
Wrong button. No, just that it's time. This will replace the mobile data computers that are in the squad cars for the sheriff's office, and they've been in there for 5 years and they're ruggedized for a reason, but they're due for a replacement.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Member Metzger?
I don't have a comment, I have a couple of questions. So this is just hardware purchase.
Correct.
So software transitions without any issues?
Yes.
Just want to make sure.
Relatively speaking, but yeah, it'll be running on this same operating system.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. And opposed? The motion has passed. We'll go on to item D2, request approval to purchase switching equipment from inside public sector using a joint purchasing contract, That's on pages 16 through 21, and I also move. Is there a second by Member Schaefer? Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. And opposed? And the motion is passed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Well, let's move on. Finance Committee report, Chairman Metzger.
Finance Committee has no items for action, but we do have a number of items that we will be presenting to the board.
Okay, thank you. Health Committee, Chair Schaefer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Health Committee has no items for action today, but we do have an item for the board.
Okay, thank you. Item D, Justice Committee, Chairman Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Where am I at? 4D. The Justice Committee has one item for action, item 4D1A, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County Fiscal Year 2023 Combined Annual Appropriation and Budget Ordinance, CAC, and I so move.
Motion by Chairman Erickson, second by Member Johnston. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. And opposed? And the motion's passed.
Mr. Chairman, the Justice Committee has no other items for action. We have several items to be presented to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go into the Property Committee, Chair Lehman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The Property Committee has no items to be presented for action, but we do have one item to be presented for the board. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Item F, Land Use and Development Committee, Chair Klein.
Thank you, Chairman. The Land Use and Development Committee does not have any items for action today, nor do we have anything to be presented to the board, but I would note that we do have an item that is before the ZBA next month that will make its way to us.
Okay, thank you very much. Reported Transportation Committee, Chair Rogal.
The Transportation Committee has no items to be presented for action tonight, but we will have 3 items to be presented to the board.
Okay, thank you. We'll go on to item H, report of our county administrator, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The administration has 4 items to present this evening. The first is H1A, request approval of resolution for March 22, 2023, project letting for the Highway Department resurfacing found on page 24.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Member Klein, second by Member Rogal. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. And opposed? And motion's passed.
Thank you. Next up is H1B, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2023 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance for the American Rescue Plan Fund 0163, and that is for Kamlara Park roads.
Is there a motion? Motion by Member Lehman, second by Member Metzger. Comments or questions? Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. And opposed? Motion's passed.
Thank you. H1C is request approval of agreement with Baxter and Woodman regarding Kamlara Park Lagoon, found on page 29.
Is there a motion? Motion by Member Klein, second by Member Johnson. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. And opposed? And the motion's passed.
And lastly, I have H1D, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2023 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance for the American Rescue Plan Fund 0163 for that same lagoon.
Is there a motion? Motion by Member Schaefer, second by Member Metzger. Any comments or questions? Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. And opposed? And the motion has passed.
I have no other items to present for this evening. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to other business and communication. Item 5, there was a request approval of proposed resolution. Mr. Soldner is here somewhere, is he? Would you like to come and join us and say anything about the resolution or present it? I'm sorry, yeah, they can't say anything yet. Is there a motion? Sorry. Is there a motion?
I'd like to table this until the June 12th Executive Committee meeting.
There's a motion to table till
June 12th Executive
June
Committee.
12th? Since it's coming from other business, it would make sense that if it's going to be presented, it's get on the floor first, yes. Yes. Is there a motion? Motion?
Can I ask a question at this point, or can you not ask a question during a tabling?
Let's
motion?
get is there a motion? Is there a motion to put this resolution on the floor? It's a motion by Member Metzger. Is there a second? Is there no second? Then is there a second?
This is to vote on it today, the resolution, or to table it to June 12th? I just
No.
want to make sure.
Just to get this on the floor. This is just to present, to get on the floor to our committee first.
Okay, I'll second that.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. Okay. Any comments or questions? Member Schaefer?
Now I will move to table it until the June 12th Executive Committee meeting.
To the June 12th Executive Committee. There's a motion to table. Is there a second? Second by Member Klein. Can't discuss a motion to table? I'm sorry. All in favor, please say aye. And oppose? And, okay, we have, let's do a roll call vote.
The roll call vote is on whether to table the resolution until the June 12th meeting. A yes would be to table it, and a no would be to not table it. Member Rogal,
Yes.
Member Lehman,
Yes?
Member Klein,
Yes.
Member Metzger. No. Member Schaefer,
Yes.
Member Erickson. No. Member Johnston.
Yes.
Member McIntyre, are you voting?
Yes,
And your vote is yes?
yes.
So you
So we
have,
have six
six
yes
full-
votes,
yeah, 6-2.
two no votes. This resolution will be tabled to the June 12th meeting of the Executive Committee. Thank you. That's all we go from there. Let's go on to item 6, payment of bills. We have bills submitted to the tune of $445,389.95. It's a regular general fund item, bills of $285,179. We have our shared sales tax municipalities fund at $12,459.57. Veterans Administration, $2,536.15. And American Rescue Plan Act, $121,927.00. And we have our separate regional planning bill of $23,288.22 for a combined total, again, of $445,389.95. Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Member Klein, second by Member Metzger. Any comments, questions, additions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. And opposed? And the motion has passed. I have nothing else tonight. Anyone else? I would like to say it's a happy birthday to Taylor on last Saturday, ASA Taylor Williams, who's on our staff, so have a little bit late, but we got it there in time. Also, please remind everyone to call in if they are going to be absent or request any kind of remote attendance. We're still having a little problem with people not coming, and we're not knowing it in order to get somebody there, including myself or Member Johnson. Thank you very much, and this meeting's adjourned.